What's up, guys? CryptoSavy here. Welcome to the channel where you subscribe to get daily updates on Bitcoin, Litecoin, Ethereum. During the week, we take a look at traditional markets, but this is Saturday. Gonna try to make this video short. I got stuff to do. I know you do too, and it's coming out a little late, but better late than never, right? Anyways, don't forget we have a free Discord group in the description below the video. Definitely check it out. It's totally free. Great community. So if you want somewhere to hang out, talk about, learn about crypto, that's the place to be. And let's get on with it. All right, guys, as always, this is not financial advice, trading advice, nor is it investment advice. Always do your own due diligence. And remember, this is just my opinion. Does not have to be yours. I want to remind you guys I'm doing a giveaway on Sunday. I'll be picking a random comment from a random video throughout the week. All you have to do to enter to win the Kobo Vault, which is here, and this is Generation 2 if you want to look it up. I do have a link to it down below if you want to check it out. But I'll be doing a giveaway on Sunday. I will be picking the random comments. So make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Do that now if you haven't already. Smash that like button and leave a comment down below. That does get you entered to win. Also, if you would, share the video. I appreciate it. And let's see what's going on. Looking at the news headlines, there's really not a lot of new news. It is Saturday, but Bitcoin's still stuck in a rut, trading below 10K. How Bitcoin may see an unexpected boost from DeFi. Market wrap, Bitcoin tests 9K as market struggles. Legendary investor Jim Rogers warns governments will stop Bitcoin. Whatever. Is scam selling suppressing the price of Bitcoin? Call it what you will. I think it's all in the charts personally. So let's look at fear and greed index. Wow, we're up 3 points from yesterday, so people feeling a little bit more bullish. We are still in the fear section. On the monthly chart, we've been looking at this forever, guys. There is bearish divergence here, and that being higher highs in the price action, lower highs in the RSI on the monthly. That doesn't mean it plays out in a couple days or a week. It is the monthly. It could take time, but I do have this target down here at 54, and someone was asking why I had the target at 54. That would be a retest if we did it, in by next month. That'd be in July. If we came down here, that would line up with the 55 EMA and the top of this trend line on the monthly chart. So that is why I'm looking at that, and that's why I've had that target there for a very long time. Let's look at the weekly. The same thing. I'll zoom in so you can see it. We had higher highs in the price action, lower highs in the RSI. That is bearish. And that's why I'm more bearish than bullish, guys. It's not that I don't like Bitcoin. I'm a true believer in Bitcoin. I actually have a HODL stash that I do not touch. But I do trade Bitcoin and try to accumulate more that way. So, all right. We were talking about this also. This falling broadening wedge is the bullish case scenario. We did pop out of it. If we remain to get support off this, and right now that trend line for the weekly is right at about 86.50. If we do get a bounce there, this is still possible, 16,000. I just don't see it personally. I know a lot of channels are extremely bullish out there and always, just giving hype and stuff. We try to keep it clean and honest on this. We take an honest look on this channel at the markets. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. And if you guys are interested in trading, I'm going to leave a Prime XBT tutorial up top. Definitely check it out. It's by far my favorite exchange. You can trade Forex, all kinds of gold, oil, whatever you want on there with your Bitcoin. Great exchange. By far the best exchange in my opinion. If you use promo code Savy50, you get 50% on top of whatever you deposit into your trading account. And if you use Savy25, you'll get 25% off your fees. All right, let's see what is going on here. We also have these lower targets down here, and these change as we go on, but it is definitely still possible. We could see as low as a $2,800, even a $1,200 Bitcoin. I don't think it's going to happen, but keep in mind, it is possible. This is Bitcoin, guys. All right, we'll take a look at this 1 hour chart. I've added a new trend line in here, and I'll talk about that in a minute, but just a quick reminder of what happens when we rise too fast without any sort of correction. We see what happened here. It got real ugly real fast, and I think we're going to get something similar over here. And what I want to point out now is over here we dropped out and came back to retest the bottom of this channel before the drop. So if that was to happen here, what would we be looking at? You know, we could get a huge pump up to $11,000 range. It's not out of the question. I think it's a little less likely now. I still am bearish here. The measured move from the fall of this rising channel here is 6,900. I've added this orange trend line in here, as you can see, and I'll show you why I did that. I'm still more convinced of the white one here, but I am going to look at this orange one. And if you look, we had touch here, and a bunch here, and we have fallen through that, guys. If we're to come up and test this orange one again, that could be around the $9,600 range, and we have been talking about that as a possibility. We're going to take a look at that in a minute, but the EMAs are turning over bearish here. It is looking pretty bearish. As of right now, the 55 EMA on the daily is our resistance around 9160. If we pop above that today, we could be going up to the 8 EMA around 9300. But we'll zoom into the smaller time frames to talk about that. 200 EMA right now on the daily is about 8540. And the measured move, if we looked at this orange line here, we would do a measured move of that as a rising broadening wedge, and where we broke here would be about a $5,500 Bitcoin. Definitely possible, but one of the things I do want to talk about, we've been watching this line for a very long time. I was looking at it as a head and shoulders on the RSI and said we'd be very bearish if we close below this on a daily, which we have done. Now, keep in mind, we can come back up and retest this line before continuing down. So I suggest everybody start studying the RSI. The RSI will give you so many more clues than a lot of these other indicators. But that is pretty much all I use, is my EMAs and my RSI trend lines. Support and resistance, that's about it. Volume still declining big time. If you watch this rise over here, we had the same thing on this rise before we broke down. Just be careful there. But the daily, guys, is very, very ugly. Looking at the RSIs here, very ugly. Let's go into the other daily chart I have here. A little more messy, but what I have is, if you look at these white targets over here, and actually there should be one. Oh no, white targets over there. That's Fibonacci retracement from this swing low to this swing high up here. A break of this 10,560. Then I start to turn bullish, guys. At least short term after that. If it comes back down to test it, if it was to break it and we get support, then I become extremely bullish. But until then, I have no reason to be bullish. I'm still bearish. Let's look at the retracements here. We did get a bounce off the first one back here at the 0.236 fib, and that was at 88.90. If this is to break, our next support's around the 85.40 range, which will line up on the daily with the 400 EMA and this long-term 8,500 trend line. Next point of support after breaking that is about 79.40 at the 0.386 fib. And 7,700 has been support and resistance for an extremely long time. I would see a fight here for a little while if we do get down this far. 6,900, like I said, rising channel. That is our measured move there. Then we have the 0.618 and the 0.615, the golden pocket zone down here. And that is between 6150 and 6360, right in that area would be the golden pocket. I would at least expect a bounce there. If that does not hold, then I'm looking at that 5400 target. We do have the 0.786 at 5250. And we do have a gap that shows up on the 8 hour on the CME futures gap. And that is around 3,500. I still believe that is a possible target, guys. Although I think it would be a quick wick down to get anybody's stops that long here and put their stops below it. Not saying it's going to happen, but I do want you guys to know that it is definitely a possibility. Let's look at the RSI on the daily. On this chart, it's a little bit different than the other one where I had the head and shoulders drawn. So we have what seems to be a rising let me move this trend line real quick and see if that lines up as a falling channel, which it does. I think I like that better. But anyways, we had this rising broadening wedge here, and I was looking for a retest before coming down. We got a bull trap. It went a little above it before coming back down. Now we are in a falling channel here. If we're able to break up and break out of this, that'd be the bullish case scenario, guys. We'd probably come test the top of this again on the RSI daily. I highly doubt that's going to happen, though. I think we're more in line for a retest of the bottom of this channel. We'll see what happens there. Let's go into the 4 hour and get a little bit closer, and then we will move into the 1 hour and get into more immediate time frames. All right, so right now we have this rising wedge here, and I could move this trend line back down to this wick, and that would get us back down for another retest of the 8870. But I'm going to leave it the way I have it now, because I think if we break down past this 9,050 range and close at least a 4 hour below it, it's going to get extremely ugly. This 8870 most likely will get broken, and we'll head down for these lower lows. What's the measured move of the break of that? If we were to break this rising wedge here, break that 9050 range, that gets us right down to the $6,900 to $7,000 range. Now, of course, we have the lower targets if that doesn't hold. Let's look at the RSI. If we look at the RSI here, we have this rising channel, which we are still within. Then we have a falling wedge that we have drawn in here. Could be coming down for another test of the bottom of this channel. If that was to break, that would confirm that this is a falling wedge, and that would be the lower lows there, most likely down into the at least the 8,800 range again. And like I said, if that breaks, it could get really ugly really fast. Let's look at the 1 hour. So this is the 1 hour. We didn't take a look at the RSIs. Let me take a look at the RSIs on the 4 hour before we do that, guys. And then we'll go into Litecoin and Ethereum after the 1 hour Bitcoin chart. We're getting resistance at the 8 EMA on the 4 hour, which is right around the 9160, 9170 range. The 55 has crossed the 200 EMA here, guys. That is pretty damn bearish. We could get a bull trap coming up to the 9450 range to test that 200 EMA, probably in the best case scenario for the bulls. But yeah, a break of this 952, guys, it's looking pretty ugly. And these EMAs here are not looking good for the bulls. Let's look at the 1 hour. Let's look at the EMAs real quick before we go into everything else here. And we are below the 8 EMA also on the 1 hour. A close above 9160 on the 1 hour. We could be looking to go retest this 55 EMA around 9200. And then I have a trend line up above that, somewhere in the 9230 range. If that's the break, then we're looking at higher highs. Let's show you what I'm looking at here. Let me get the RSI off there. All right, so I have a trend line right here off of these two wicks that we could come back up, like I said, and test that. That'd be around the 9230 range. If that was to break, I have the Fibonacci retracement from the swing high to the swing low here. Right now we're playing with the 0.236 fib. Back over here, we did go above the 0.382, the 0.5 fib to retrace up. If we break that 9230, I'd be looking for a rejection around the 9300 to the 200 EMA, which is 9330, not 9350 area. That breaks. The next point of resistance is the 0.5 fib at 9386. And if that was to break, I made a dotted line here. This is, whoops. Just cloned this line in case this was to turn out to be a rising channel, which I doubt. I don't see us going up there, but it is the weekend. Weirder things have happened. We have the golden pocket retracement up here at around 9480, and then the 0.786 of that move would be around the 9610 to 9620 range. And if that was to happen, I think it would take a few days, a couple days, maybe see that Monday if it was to happen, because I believe it would be coming to retest this trend line here. But again, guys, I'm leaning pretty damn bearish. But a break of this 9230, we'll have to watch that and see what happens at that point. But if we break down below, like I said, that 9250 range, and we're most likely headed down. Let's take a look at the measured move of the breakdown from here. Did I put one in there? I did not put a measured move on there. Let me get that in there for you. And looking at this looking at the solid lines here as a triangle / bear flag, a measured move of a breakdown of that's going to be right around the $8,600 range. Now, also, guys, we did this looking at this as a rising channel that we've already fallen out of, and from where we broke there is about the $8,600 range. But we do have this trend line here now that is suggesting further. If we came back down to retest this within the next couple days, it'd be around the $8,400-$8,500 range. If that area breaks, guys, it's going to get really ugly really fast. But yeah, I see nothing but bearishness in the charts, guys. I could be wrong. Like I said, if we pass that 92.30, if that doesn't hold, if we come up to test that range, then we could be looking up at these higher ranges. And like I said, if we did come up to this 9,600, that would be the ultimate bull trap, in my opinion. But we'll see what happens. Again, I'm bearish. Don't forget to check out my wife's webpage, anchorimage.com. There is a link to that below. She has a lot of cool crypto stuff on there. You don't have to put just what you can see. You can put any crypto, any saying, family pictures, whatever you want on any of that stuff. All right, looking at Litecoin in the 4-hour. So we had a measured move of this rising wedge here, and that is right around the $28, $29 range. We have our Fibonacci retracements marked in here up from the swing low to the swing high here. This $41 support area is very heavy support. If that breaks, it'll probably get really ugly. Right now, I'm not sure what to make of this right here, but as of right now, I have it as a kind of a falling wedge. But we did have this rising channel that we broke out of here, and the measured move of that from where it broke gets us down to around the $37 range. We do have the 0.5 fib at 37.92 golden pocket zone for this, which is most likely where it's going to retrace, in my opinion. Is going to be between the $34 and $35 range. If that breaks, $30, $31 range is the 0.786. And then if Bitcoin did go down in lower lows, we could be looking at a $20, $22 Bitcoin or Litecoin. Could get pretty damn ugly. But again, I think that would be a stop hunt, and we probably get a quick wake up. Do have this long trend line back here. If that was the case, it would get very ugly. I don't think that's going to happen. We'll talk about that if it ever shows up. All right. Let's, yeah, that's about it. Let's look at the RSI. In the RSI, we're still in this falling channel here. We broke out of this falling channel, came back down, tested it for support. Looks like we may be coming down to retest this range again. If not, like I said, it could get bullish. If Bitcoin gets bullish and come up to retest the top of here, that would get us around the, let's look at the areas to watch. If we were to break the 44.50 range, then I'd be looking for probably a good $47 Litecoin. I doubt that's going to happen, but it's definitely a possibility. And if we look at that as a falling broadening wedge, that would get us up to around 48.50. But again, I could take this trend line down, exclude this little wick here, and it makes a falling channel also. But like I said, I'm not sure what to make out of that yet. Keep an eye on the 55 EMA. I suppose that will help you out in the 4-hour, and that is right around 43.30 range. If we break that, most likely going to head up and retest the 200 EMA, which is around 44.20, and then we'll need to watch this top trend line here and see what happens. But like I said, it's the weekend. Anything could happen, but it isn't looking very good for the bulls. What happened there? All right. Ethereum, same thing, rising wedge. We have a measured move. If we are to break down from this, and that gets us down to, and it'd be a break of the 228 range if we did that, if we did it today. and that'd get us down to about the 157. And again, guys, that doesn't mean we have one red candle down there. You know, we're going to have some bouncing around. We do have our Fibonacci retracements here from the swing low to the swing high. The point 236 is at 214. If we break this 228, that's the bottom of this wedge here. It could get, you know, we could get down to the 214, maybe come up, retest the wedge, and continue down. But the 0.5 would be around 191. Or I'm sorry, 0.382 would be around 191. 0.5 around 171. Golden pocket area between 148 and 152 would be the golden pocket retracement. If that is to break, 0.786 would be 0.1, it'd be 125. And if we broke that, we're most likely looking, I mean, we may get support at the double bottom, but I think that would break, and we'd be looking for a 55 to 70, $55 to $80 Bitcoin, maybe, some, or Litecoin, or damn, Saturday, guys, or Ethereum. And that would also line up with this trend line here off of these two wicks. So keep that in mind. If Bitcoin goes down to them lower lows, that would be where I would see Ethereum. Now, the bullish case, let's zoom in here a little bit. We are getting support as of right now on the 200 EMA on Ethereum, which is right around 229. If we break below that, like I said, 228's the area to watch. If we break that, we're most likely headed down, guys. But these EMAs are very bearish right now. It is looking like the 8 wants to come down and cross this maybe by the end of the day, cross 200, and then that would match up with the 228. And if that happens, guys, whew, it's going to get crazy. Now, if we had another fake out, we could come up and retest this trend line around 247. We did nail this top over here the other day, but first, I would look for a 4-hour close above the 233 if we were to get back up in this range before calling us to get bullish back up here. But if we did, we could be looking at $247 Ethereum, which I doubt. Same thing. Let's take a look at the RSI in the 4-hour. We had a wedge here, fell out. Broadening wedge here. We did have a bull trap, came back up in it and dropped back below it. Came back to test the top of this channel and getting support. Let's see if there's any clues in there or any divergence on the 4-hour here. Yeah, we did have some hidden bearish. We had lower or higher highs in the RSI here and lower highs in the price action that is bearish. So it does look like we'll come down to test maybe that 228. And if that breaks, watch out. Thanks for stopping by. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already by clicking the CryptoSavy logo above my head. Smash that like button. Leave a comment down below to get you entered to win the Kobo Vault Generation 2. And share the video if you would, guys. I'd appreciate it. And I will see you tomorrow. I'm out.